Welcome back. Want to know how to make the ultimate fried fish recipe? Then continue watching. All right, we're going to jump right on in because we only have about 30 minutes, as you know. All right, for this particular fried fish recipe, we are going to be using flounder fish. However, you can feel free to use any type of fish, whether it be whiting, even snapper, haddock, halibut, doesn't matter. Anyway, what we want to do with this fish first and foremost is we are going to add some mustard. And I know a lot of you are like, add mustard. Yeah, if you're not on this bandwagon, jump on it. Get a good amount of mustard in there. It's going to work as a perfect binding agent when it comes to allowing our flour to stick to the fish. We're also going to hit it off with some hot sauce. Okay. Along with our egg. Get it in there. Boom. Using our hands or tongs, we can combine the wet marinade onto the fish. To our bowl, we are going to start off with adding some all-purpose flour. If you want to add cornmeal to this mix, you definitely can. However, I am not going to do that today. We're going to add some garlic powder along with Old Bay. We're also going to add some of my Cedarwood smoked seafood seasoning along with some Creole seasoning. And to amp the flavors up even more, we're gonna go in with some shrimp bouillon. Yes, shrimp bouillon it is. Combine all of the seasonings with our flour. And if you realize, I didn't add any dry seasoning to our fish. That's because all of our seasoning is gonna be within the flour. Seasoning sticks to seafood. You don't wanna over season. It's so easy to over season seafood. All you have to do is add some seasoning to the flour and the seafood and boom, it's too salty. Flour is tasting good, so that means we're in business. All right, we're gonna take our first piece of fish and we're gonna add it to our flour mixture. Pat it on down in there. Allow the fish to get perfectly coated. The question that I always get is, why is it when I'm frying my fish, the dredging always falls off? And that's simple. If you don't have like a good marinade or something for the dry dredge to stick to, then it's not gonna stick, right? So it only makes sense to create a really good wet dredge, if that makes sense. Not dredge, but wet marinade. Something that's gonna allow the dry dredge to stick. Check it out, perfect. I'm gonna lay it right here onto my cooling rack. Add a little bit more flour right here. I see a little spot. And we're gonna take the other pieces and we're gonna repeat the same process. In the meanwhile, make sure you heat your oil up to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Get that going. Between 350 and 360, I wanna say 350 and 365 is a safe temperature to fry your fish and to get it nice and crispy and golden brown. All right, place that right here. I'm also going to show you how to make my amped-up sauce that's going to pair perfectly with this fish. You're going to get a 2-for-1. We are down to the last Mohegan. And we are about to hit the home run. All right, this is a bigger piece, so I just want to make sure I get it really good. And you can look at it and see, if you look closely, you can tell that we're gonna have flaky fish, all right? You see these little separation parts right here? Woo! That's our indication right there that our fish is gonna fry beautifully and it's gonna be nice and crispy. But yet still tender, that's the goal. You want your fish to be nice and flaky and tender, but yet the outer part of the fish needs to be nice and crispy. I'm gonna go ahead and add the first piece of fish to the hot oil. We're not going to overcrowd the pan because we want to maintain that temperature of the oil. Going to flip our fish over. Can't have seafood without lemon juice. Just can't. You just can't. Add a good amount of lemon juice is going to pair perfectly with this recipe. All right, and now it's time for the fun part. To this bowl right here, we are going to add some mayo, Creole or Dijon mustard, sweet relish. Okay, add a good amount of this stuff right here. It's gonna be so worth it. We're also gonna add some capers, minus the juice. Use the back of the spoon to get these capers out of the jar. Capers are what you would find in tartar sauce. We're gonna add some Worcestershire sauce, a couple drops, honey, Creole seasoning. This is low sodium, so I'm gonna add a good amount of Creole seasoning. Some fresh dill. However, if you wanna use dill paste for this recipe, you definitely can. I do from time to time. Whenever I could get one or the other, I just use whatever I could find. Dill, ooh, so refreshing. We're gonna get in there, we're just gonna chop it up really small. Refine it and break it down even more. And the more you break it down, is the more flavors that you're releasing from the actual dill. Get it in there. We're gonna finally chop some parsley. Add our parsley. I might as well use all. I was only gonna use 2 because I'm making a small amount of sauce. But you know what? When you only have 3 in the bottle, you might as well just go for it. Slice it as chunky or as small as you want it to be. If the parsley and the dill is incorporated with it, that's okay. After all, we're using the same cutting board, right? So it really doesn't matter. All right, let's get our pickles in there for that lovely pickled sweetness. All right, let's get to mixing. Mix it on up, make sure everything is perfectly combined. And I make the sauce so much, I know it's gonna be really good. And that's it, we are finished. Now I know you guys saw this fish, I know you did. It's absolutely gorgeous, it came out perfect. And I am gonna go in for a big old bite. Oh, what? Wow. Let's go in for our Amped-Up Remoulade sauce. Wow. Let me just show you the meat. Peel this back just a bit. The meat is nice and tender, but the outer shell, or should I say the outer coating, is seriously crispy. Absolutely delicious. Definitely give this recipe a try, my loves. Don't forget to hit that subscribe and like button. And until next time, I'll catch you in another recipe. Bye, guys.